according to Arsenal News, which cited the examination of high-resolution satellite photos by a defense watcher named M.T. Anderson. A new Chinese submarine was recently found to be either in the process of being built or recently finished by the Aichi, Guangzhou Shipyard in southern China, in the city of its namesake. To the best of my knowledge, the public has not yet been able to access the satellite images that led to this discovery. It should be mentioned that building submarines is not the Guangzhou Shipyard's primary reputation. They are typically involved in the construction of auxiliary naval vessels, replenishment ships, and supply ships. However, they have recently been constructing a number of strange things, such as the largest unmanned warship in the world, an aircraft carrier under civilian control, and new amphibious landing barges with long road bridges. The newest odd device to emerge from the Guangzhou shipyard on Longshui Island is this new submarine. Western submarines are reported in the media years before they are even laid down. Their existence cannot be concealed, even though there are always mysteries about their capabilities and design. However, China has a history of building submarines in near total secrecy. This is not the initial instance. The new submarine is approximately 45 meters long and 5 meters wide, according to M.T. Anderson's preliminary assessment, which Naval News might confirm if they had access to the same photos. This submarine is extremely small, and it is most likely diesel-electric in nature. The most striking aspects of this new boat, though, are the enormous X-shaped rudders at the stern and what seem to be the lack of a sail, or conning tower as they are more commonly called. All of these characteristics have been seen on earlier Chinese submarine classes, but not on the same vessel. This is a sketch of the new vessel created by H.I. Sutton, a contributor to Naval News. Our submarine is incredibly smooth and lacks a conventional sail. The periscope, radio antenna, communication devices, and possibly radar systems, all of which are normally installed in the sail, will therefore need to relocate. According to the drawing, these antennae and devices are kept in a dorsal section that is slightly elevated toward the aft, ready to be deployed when needed. The submarine is thought to have 4 torpedo tubes, which is more than enough for a hunter-killer. However, considering its small size, it is unclear if it can store a sizable number of torpedoes. Returning to the aft, you notice that the traditional cruciform rudder has been replaced with an X-shaped stern rudder. I believe it should be obvious that an X and a crucifix have different shapes. We have a typical skewback propeller near the rear. Additionally, a tactical towed array sonar system seems to be installed. The new submarine and 2 other reasonably comparable submarine classes are contrasted in the upper right corner of the artwork. It demonstrates how distinctive the new boat is in a lot of ways. The second submarine, in the center, is the new one. The top submarine was introduced by the Jiangnan Shipyard in 2018 and is of an unidentified class. It also lacks the conning tower that is typically seen on submarines. Instead, it has a small bump in its place. It is marginally bigger than the new submarine we are concentrating on, though, and more significantly, it lacks an X arrangement of rudders. The US Navy's Orca is comparable in size to the bottom submarine, an exceptionally large unmanned underwater vehicle. Since an unmanned submarine wouldn't require an access point far above the waterline, the absence of a sail may increase the likelihood that it is unmanned. But given that the new submarine is significantly bigger than the Orca, it most likely needs to accommodate crew quarters. Therefore, considering its size, it is probably unlikely to be an unmanned submarine, though this cannot be confirmed. China seems eager to try new and untested things, as evidenced by the construction of a massive unmanned surface warship. Although the new submarine's purpose is still unknown, it is most likely meant for use in China's near-seas shallow waters. This is due to the fact that it is extremely small and has X-rudders. Shallow coastal waters could be a great place for small torpedo attack submarines. The sub could be used against enemy naval forces much more aggressively and at much higher risk than a manned sub if it is, in fact, unmanned. Another possibility is that it's a committed mine layer who can covertly place sea mines in the way of an approaching adversary. In order to mine off the choke points into portions of the first island chain, that role would be essential, preventing access to even Western Navy's submarines during times of war. Furthermore, this submarine might serve as a test bed for new technologies, such as those we covered in this video, considering the Guangzhou shipyard's recent history of producing experimental naval ships. Back to the X-rudder configuration, it's important to remember that this has been done in China previously and has been observed at the Yangtze River's Wuchang Shipyard in Wuhan. At the time, a much larger submarine than the one we had just seen had the X-rudder installed. The Type 095 nuclear attack submarines and the Type 096 ballistic missile submarines are expected to have the same configuration, according to experiments with such a system of hydroplanes.